So one of the things that we've noticed, macroeconomists, is that in the short run, whether or not an economy is in a recession or in an expansion, there's some expected impact on trade imbalances. So recessionary and expansionary economic activity well, let's not say will. Let's be a little bit more specific than that. Can impact trade balances. So the book uses a great example about the most recent 2006 to 2009 recessionary period, and how during that period we shrunk our consumption of imports. And the shrinking of the consumption of imports would normally be a good thing, but the export shrink did not keep up. And so the long and short of it is that a recession tends to make the trade deficits smaller. So again, this already negative thing tends to make it smaller, or make a trade surplus larger. And again, this has to do with the fact that oftentimes we have a overreaction, especially when recession is local to us. There's an overreaction in terms of our consumption behavior and our decrease in the amount of imports, and there's not necessarily a corresponding decrease in export activity. So it'll make a trade deficit smaller. If you already have a really big trade deficit, it's going to make it smaller, and then it's going to make a trade surplus larger. So it's going to move this number, whether it's negative or positive, in the more positive direction. Does that make sense?
And you're saying that this is largely due to consumer behavior. If the economy's worse, people spend less, therefore we purchase less.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Less imports. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And then periods of stronger economic growth tend to make trade deficits larger. Or trade surpluses smaller. Similar reasons, consumer behavior is going to overreact. They're going to import more. So if you're in a trade deficit, it's going to be larger than any sort of expansion of your exports, especially if the expansion is localized to just your country or your region, right? So some of these things are effects that are exacerbated when we're in exceptional global or external contexts. Similarly, if you're already in a trade surplus and you are exporting way more than you're importing, an expansionary period, we're seeing this with the People's Republic of China. They are importing more as they are becoming, wealthier, and so as a result, their trade surplus has been shrinking. Not significantly, but over time,